This week on the Modified Minute.
It's very humble, and it's got to be tough because then you see your car going through the field. That should be you in the seat. But he'll get there. He'll be back, and, you might be surprised. It could be 211s on the track. You never know.
What you think is going to happen. Is this guy going to go up or down, or is this lady going to go up or down, or whatever's going to happen? And, as you race long enough and you see, and you race around the people, their trend.
Got twisted enough. It was like right here. So the radius bone's right here. It was broke like this, and it was a bunch of little pieces. To the point we had to do a plate and 10 screws. And then it sprained like everything all through here. We also have a boxer's fracture right here, and then one of the little bone in the center of your wrist is a fracture as well.
All that plus Hot Dog of the Week, radio replay, and either or. So tighten those belts because this week's Modified Minute is next. They're called the Mod Squad. Ground pounders. The men that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower.
Here they come to the stripe, down to the finish, checkered flag in the air.
Monsignor up the hill. Here comes Salamito to the inside. Here comes John Beatty Jr.
And off the corner to the line they come.
This is the Modified Minute. Go inside the world of modified racing with Jack Arute. Modified Minute is brought to you by Wadell Communications, the official trackside radio supplier for the Mod Squad. By Mid-State Site Development, Safety, Knowledge, and Innovation. By Wheeler's Auto Services, the finest in top-level service of premier automobile makes and models. By Hummel Brothers Quality Meats, 100% quality since 1933. By Riverhead Building Supply, build smarter, build better. By Mr. Reuter Plumbing, expert plumbing contractors you can trust. By Sign Pro, exceeding your expectations. And by Ferguson Contractors, building excellence since 1925. Here's Jack.
Welcome to another episode of the Modified Minute, where it's all about the people, the stories, and the competition that makes modified racing the greatest short track racing in the country. Now this week, we're going to visit with a championship crew chief, JJ Vece. He'll share how he rose through the pit crew ranks to now call the shots for modified race teams. Matt Vassar has sat out almost 2 months of action after he broke his arm and wrist in an early June SK race at Stafford, but he's on the mend and ready to step back and finish out the season. And we'll visit with Sean Wadell, acknowledged as one of the best spotters in the business. Wadell will share his spotting history as well as advice for guys and gals that want to become spotters. But first, we need to get you up to speed on all the racing action.
Time to get you up to speed in the modified world. Up to Speed is brought to you by Mid-State Site Development. Mid-State. Safety. Knowledge and innovation.
The carrot top hair was gone when Austin Goff piloted his SK Light into Thompson's victory lane last Wednesday. In the Track's SK division, it was Todd Owen putting an end to Keith Rocco's victory lane stranglehold.
I mean, obviously it's been a hell of a battle between us two since this whole division started. Well, not the first year, but since we came and started racing each other, I mean, it's a hell of a battle with him. And, we had to keep going home and trying to make the car faster.
The Wheeler Modified Tour was in Claremont, New Hampshire on Friday,
July 10th. Off of turn
10th.
number 4, Patrick Emmerling leads him to the green, and we're underway.
So it's going to line away. So as the race progresses and you get cautions out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Steven Kopsick, your point leader, with problems coming off of turn number 4.
Steven Kopsick coming in as our point leader. He had one rough night at Oxford. Looks like they might have figured out the issue, or they just got to hurry up.
See Hirschman draw even down the backstretch. A little bit of an advantage. We'll see if he pins him down on the bottom, but Hirschman's car so strong on the top.
Check out this replay off of turn number 2, or up one of the corners here. Slides right into the wall. Sparks shooting out. Patrick Emmerling wants to wait until the lap traffic. I think he almost dirt tracks at that time off of turn number 4.
Yeah, that's the tough part is he's getting pointed and he wants to stand on the gas to get under him, but there's just no grip to do that as he gets into him here. And he's going to fire in on the bottom. He's going to fill. It's going to be so hard to complete this pass, though, if Mac can keep position. They're just going to let him go.
Brand new leader on lap number 96. It's car number 1. He has strung together 9 victories. He has come close to the championship twice, and each time that he has chased the championship and really turned it up, it would be in the middle of the summer. So it's Emmerling time, and off of turn number 4, your winner of the Clash of the Claremont is Patrick Emmerling.
We kind of had a little bit of a slow start to the season. We were kind of struggling, and we were just trying to get. We're still top 3 in points, or I don't know where we are now, but we're just working at getting in our groove, and we're finally kind of getting that.
Friday night at Stafford, Chris Matthews took the checkered flag in the SK Light.
You had a very tough Matt Brewer on your back bumper.
Oh yeah, Matt was coming. I had to throw a pretty good block on him there. He was really rolling. I got off the corner pretty bad.
While Troy Talman bounced back from getting collected in the week's previous lap 1 chaos.
Here's Talman out of line in turn number 1. They are side by side for the lead. Troy Talman to the inside of David Arute.
Threw it in at a ton, and Talman becomes the brand new leader.
Off of turn number 4, checkered flag is out, and Troy Talman wins tonight's SK Modified feature event.
We got it done tonight. It's not just me. It's the team effort, the whole car, the 6 car. How about that shit, huh? 6 car is pretty stout. I really can't put into words. Just so much work goes into this. We started the year out and we were struggling a little bit. I'm just so happy I went with the 6 car. I mean, it's just, it's awesome.
Meanwhile, at Riverhead Raceway,
Through 3 and 4, out at turn 4, Michael Berner takes down win number 2 on the season.
The car was just on rails. I saw Kyle was tight, and I knew I was going to reel him in, and I just thought it was going to be tough setting him up, and I saw a hole open, and I threw it in there. And,
Then, just this past Wednesday, July 15th, it was back to Stafford for the King of the Crates SK Light feature.
He'll be the man that will go into the record books as being the crate feature as King of the Crates. It is Robert Bloxham.
I joined this team to win races and to fight for a championship, and if I screwed it up that bad in the first half, I think I could do something in the second. So, just keep plugging along here, and we're not going to give up. That's what KRR is about.
And it was joined by the Monaco Tri-Track GAF Roofers Modified Masters.
They come off turn number 4. They light them up. We are racing GAF style here at Stafford.
Again, Ron Silk at the point and pulling away at the front of the field.
Silk with a nice run. Sets the pace. Now here comes Williams again. And Ron Silk will take down the victory.
Really was great from the time we unloaded. I think we were fastest in practice, got the pole, and won the race. So good day for us here. It's, these guys back here that make this happen. Car owners, Joe Yanone, Tyler Haight, the whole crew, Spotter Andrew, Phil Moran, Bob Tulipani, every single one of these guys, they do a great job, and it's a pleasure to drive it.
Both Waterford Speed Bowl and Riverhead's Saturday night cards were a total washout this past weekend. But on Sunday, NASCAR's Wheel and Modified Tour hit the White Mountain Motorsports Park for their Thunder in the Mountains event.
Emmerling, John McKennedy take the green flag, and they go thundering into turn number 2 for the first time. Here he comes, building a run up the back straightaway on Patrick Emmerling for the top spot. Emmerling a bit stronger in the outside lane, has the top of the race lead by a half a car length, but Tommy Catalano not giving up on the bottom. Caution lights are on.
It is the air cleaner off the number 1 car of Patrick Emmerling.
Paulie Hardwick at the front of the field for the first time today. Patrick Emmerling to his outside, then it's Stephen Kopsick.
Brand new leader emerges. Second time he's been at the front. It is Patrick Emmerling. Here comes Kopsick in the top 3. To the outside of him is Austin Mears.
Into turn number 3 and off of turn number 4. Second consecutive win here on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour for Patrick Emmerling. He'll win the Thunder in the Mountains 200 here at White Mountain Motorsports.
We were going to have the best log run car, and we unloaded similar to what we did last year. Last year we were really, really fast, and we had a parts failure that ended our day, and so we were pretty hungry for this one, and we wanted to keep what we were doing rolling, and yeah, we lost that air cleaner earlier on. The stud broke off the carburetor, and so I was like, man, if you want to get them early, I'm game, and that's what we did. And
lots of action, but rest assured, you're now up to speed.
Here's a look at the championship chases. Brought to you by Sign Pro, exceeding your expectations.
Patrick Emmerling's back-to-back New Hampshire wins jumped him into the top spot at the Wheel Modified Tour standings. Austin Beers remained second, with Jonathan McKennedy trailing in third. Stephen Kopsick dropped down to fourth, with Eric Goodale rounding out the top five. The Monaco Modified Tri-Track standings got shuffled after the Modified Masters event at Stafford Speedway Wednesday night. John McKennedy sits in the top spot, followed by Ronnie Williams, who moved to second. Kyle Bonsignor sits third. Michael Christopher Jr. is fourth. And with his Stafford win, Ron Silk breaks into the top five. Round two of the Sign Pro Triple Crown for Stafford's SK Mods takes the green this Friday, while down south, the Smart Tour sees Danny Bone, Ryan Newman running 1-2 in the points, followed by Burt Myers, Jake Crum, and Joey Braun. The Smart Tour sits idle until August 7th when they run at Pulaski Speedway. 2026 certainly has not been the kind of modified season that Matt Vassar anticipated when he reunited with John Hummel in the SK Modified Hummel Hot Dog 11. During the running of the Casella Waste 80 lapper on June 5th, Vassar broke his arm and his wrist in a freak racing incident. Andrew Molleur was called in to replace Matt as Vassar underwent surgery and is on the road to recovery. But now, Vassar is itching to get back behind the wheel. Let's get an update as we talk to him.
This is SK Soundings. News from the SK Light, and 602 Modified World. Brought to you by Wheeler's Auto Services, the finest in top-level service of premier automobile makes and models, specializing in European, Japanese, and domestic vehicles.
Well, I'm pleased to be joined by Matt Vassar, who has been on the mend for about a month and a half now after a wicked accident at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Matt, we're going to get into that in just a moment because I've got some video and try to dissect what exactly happened. But I want to go back to, you were a standout late model driver, road trucks. I mean, you pretty much did it all. And then you got a call from John Hummel and moved over to the SK Mods.
Yeah. Sorry, everything broke up there for a second, but yeah. I started late models here in I think it was 1999. My dad was racing for Ron Paul. I drove his backup car, or it was my dad's car. Slapped together a junker motor, and I skipped school almost too many times that I didn't graduate my senior year because I was trying to work on it, and because I just wanted to go racing because I was a bleacher bum there every Friday night growing up. And just wanted to get out there and get racing. That was the first thing I ever did at Stafford. A funny story about that, being a bleacher bum. Me and Michael Bennett, we go a long way back. We used to, his grandfather Herb was racing, and obviously my dad was in the late models in the early 90s. He was like the first friend but enemy I made at the racetrack. We'd walk by each other and be like, your grandfather sucked, and he'd be like, your dad sucked. Although he was down in victory lane every time my dad won, so it was kind of funny hanging out with us. But yeah, I love Stafford. That was one of the cool things. But yeah, late models was the first thing, and then I went working in the Cup Series and Busch Series for a while, and then started racing some trucks and all kinds of other stuff down south. Won some races. Won 2 championships at the Gresham Motorsports Park. Raced down at the Snowball Derby and all Mobile and a bunch of other different tracks down southeast. It was awesome, and then came back up here and started running late models for a guy named Greg Damone, which and I forgot who the other car owner was, Don Cody, and I did that for a year, and then John, I think he whatever ended up with him in the previous driver. I think it was Tony Membrino. I was walking by Eddie at Waterford. I'm like, what's it take to get in that thing? He goes, "Just submit a resume." I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'll take a shot. And what's the worst I was going to hear is no, right?
Right,
You know?
right.
And so I did, and we got talking. I had dinner a couple times, and they explained their aspirations. I explained mine, and we were able to come a deal. And I had to learn how to run a modified because I was so used to little tire stuff for the most part. I mean, I drove some other stuff that had a little bit bigger tires, but they're all coilover cars. Nothing was ever. I'm not coilover a big sprint car. I never drove a coilover car or something that's 2 inches off the ground like that. And most 4 inches off the ground was the lowest I ever driven in anything in my career. So it was quite the acclimation period there that first couple of years.
And it's like lit the candle for you. I mean, you absolutely love the modifieds, and I think you've been a great fit for John as well, and for Eddie over there in the Hummel 11.
Yeah, I mean, I love those things. It sounds terrible. They're so easy to drive. But they're so hard to race. And it's not all because of the cars. We're all the same speed for the most part because the rules package is amazing at Stafford, and you have such a high talent level of drivers. Although there are a couple of boneheads out there, and we see it every week, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Even some of the faster ones are boneheads because they think they get stuffing in the space where they shouldn't, or they're trying to push people around the racetrack. But that's anywhere. But just they're so, I just can't describe how fun it is to drive one because it's a car that can take driving it deep into the corner. And I mean, that's a fault of mine, but you just can just sail them in there and you turn them and it sounds dumb.
Stick.
And they smash
at
the
least
gas
most
and
of the
come
time.
off.
Yeah, most of the time they stick.
Right.
You were having a good season. It was early in the season, but you were putting together some good consistent finishes, and then the Casella Waste 80 unfolded, and I've got video that give us your version.
It all starts with me probably not doing my job as good as I should have, and giving Eddie and them guys good enough feedback so we could have a better car. We struggled in that race. I mean, that was the first race besides the week we lost brakes that we were off pretty good. So we made multiple pit stops. That's where it really went bad because we shouldn't have been back where we were. We come out of turn 4 and obviously looking at the video now, the 7, whatever happened to him on the restart, if he missed a shift or was playing games, who knows? No one will ever know the truth on that one. But a melee ensued, and there was guys spinning wrecking high, there was guys spinning wrecking low. I saw Noah corner, a buddy of mine in front of me, and like rule of thumb of the modified, you keep your front bumper squared up, right? That's how you protect yourself. That's how you don't rip tires off. That's how you don't end up with an arm that's all screwed up. So I was following him. I told him the next day, I was like, if you would have went in the grandstands and killed 50 people, well, I was following you there and killing the rest of them that you missed because I was staying in line with this bumper and I followed him into the dirt because all the stuff that was happening on the track, that was the best place for us to go. And next thing I remember is somebody sliding into the right front, and then we hit the back of Noah's car and the wheels were turned violently, and my arm didn't feel as good after that.
Yeah, we catch it because the camera is kind of tilted from the accident a little bit, but can see
That's
immediately.
We made a handlebar adjustment one pit stop and hit the camera.
Yeah. And you kind of lift your arm and you can immediately see it. But tell me what the injuries were.
So the radius bone, which I can show you. A cool scar that me and your nephew were comparing the other day. So like, here's got twisted enough. Here's like right here. So the radius bone's right here. It was broke like this, and it was a bunch of little pieces. To the point we had to do a plate and 10 screws. And then it sprained like everything all through here. We also have a boxer's fracture right here, and then one of the little bone in the center of your wrist is a fracture as well. It was not very pleasant at all.
Lots of physical therapy. What's the outlook?
Outlook is full recovery. The bone's going to be stronger than ever. I tell people I'm like the new Wolverine, although I haven't figured out how to get the things to come out of your hand yet, with all the metal in my arm there. Outlook's going to be I'll have full range of motion, full use, all that stuff. There'll be no no long-term effects. Maybe minus setting off
the
thing in
alarms at the airport.
Yeah, in the airport about it. But comes with a cool story, so whatever. And chick steak scars. But long term I'll be fine. I'd love to get back in the car as soon as I'm available. I know we have Andy doing a great job for us. But it kills you to see somebody else driving a car you're supposed to be driving.
Oh, I can see it when you're when you're in the paddock area.
Yeah.
You do everything you possibly can, but when that car pulls out, it's like when you leave home and your dog is at home watching you, and you see the look on him because where are you going? Where are you doing with my car?
Right.
So I feel for you.
Exactly.
Listen, I think we're all looking forward to you getting back, and wanted to get this update in and appreciate you visiting with us today and giving us the update. And look forward to maybe the SK5K in early August. Let's use that as the target.
That is, I am working hard every day. I'm already ahead on physical therapy, and we already, I do extra exercise. We're doing all we can, drinking my milk, taking my vitamins. So I can't wait to be back out there, Jack.
Can't wait to see you. Thanks so much for today, my friend.
Thank you, buddy.
It's now time to reveal this week's Modified Minute Hot Dog of the Week. Someone who stood above the rest. Brought to you by Hummel Brothers, Quality Meats. The top dog in modified racing. 100% quality since 1933.
David Arute came into last Friday's race at Stafford after his crew spent countless hours trying to recover from the week previous's disaster that left his Monaco Ford SK totally destroyed. His team pulled out the backup car, and after starting fifth, he quickly took command of the 40-lapper on lap 14.
Arute makes a run for it. Down in turn number 3, David Arute is to the inside of Pearl. Side by side, they come off the turn. A brand new leader.
But his lead slowly shrunk due to a fast-closing Troy Talman.
They are side by side for the lead. Troy Talman to the inside of David Arute.
The Casella Waste car passed Arute and went on to victory.
Checkered flag is out, and Troy Talman wins tonight's SK Modified feature event.
Like the Phoenix, Arute rose from the week before's wreck to finish in second place.
It was a lot of work in the shop. Alex Grab, Mike DeCarly, Fatback, Pooter, Chris, Thomas, everyone in the shop getting another car back together again to come out, finish second. It's good to get back up on the podium. We need to get a lot better finishes. No surprise, I haven't had the best finishes the past weeks after winning earlier in the year, but to end up on the podium is awesome. I thought I had something to win the race there, just kind of pull away, but I think those early laps running the outside of the 79 car there for 12 laps really just killed the right rear and just lost the rubber there in the end.
Well done, nephew. You are this week's Hot Dog of the Week. Keeping up with the racetrack and its evolution during the course of an event can be the difference between finishing on the podium or somewhere mid-pack. Crew chiefs have to anticipate. They need to be proactive. A race setup gets you in the ballpark, but anticipating how conditions may change gives your driver the edge. And one of the best at that is JJ Vece.
Time to drop in at the race shop and get the inside dope from the guys who twist the wrenches. It's Crew Call. Brought to you by Ferguson Contractors. Building excellence since 1925.
JJ, tell me about the very first job that you had on a pit crew.
Oh, well, let's see. So between that, my grandfather and father was cleaning wheels and learning tires at a very young age of probably like 3. And that was my first job on a pit crew and just moved up from there with everything.
And you've kind of climbed up through the ladder. Who are some of the instrumental people besides your family that have provided you with the input that have made you one of the top crew chiefs in New England?
Well, it starts off, like I said, started off as tires, like with Glenn Dixon, taught me a lot. Mike German, Mario Fiore, even, talking with Jet Zarella, some of the famous old tire guys, and you move up from there to crew chief wise. Michael Sullivan, Sly Sabin had worked huge in helping me throughout. Mike Christopher and Teddy, they were huge and being instrumental in my career.
What do you think the key is for a modified to be competitive? Is it the geometry? Is it being ahead of the curve of a changing racetrack? Is it tires?
Well, it starts with the tires. It most definitely does. And, the geometry and being ahead of the curve, that's a huge part in it too. It all has to mesh together. If it doesn't, you're not going to be good at all. It's just how it is.
You have a reputation for being ahead of the curve, being able to figure out what the track is going to give you when you finally get, whether it's the mid stages or the later stages of a long distance race. Is that intuitive? Is that luck? What goes inside that head of yours?
A lot. Unfortunately, sometimes I double, triple check, think myself. So a lot goes on. It's then you could play Sunday morning quarterback and hope that something was different. But it's just so many ideas, because I try and stay up on the game and talk to a lot of fellow crew chiefs. Like I said, Michael Sullivan and Sly Sabin, two of the smartest guys in the pit area that I've ever met in my life. So, I know, they forgot a lot more than I know. So it's a huge help to have them guys in my corner to help me do a lot of things as well.
Your probably most successful season came at Stafford Motor Speedway. Was that your first championship as a crew chief?
Absolutely, it was. It was. It was funny because if you read every article when we said we're, with the petty cash car, we're going to have Andrew Molleur driving, I was like, we don't have a chance. But I always said, we might not have a winning driver, but we got a championship driver. And he proved me completely wrong, because not only did he stay steady, he won 2 races, and one of them was from the back with a bad tire that was coming apart. So, that was huge for us.
I watched you and that team mature through the years. You had wins with Narducci, you had wins with Jimmy Blewett, but when Molleur got there, it was as if everything solidified.
Absolutely. Our first race out as a team, we went out and we won with Tyler Hines. That was our very first race. And I knew it was, I was fortunate enough at the time, the Meyhofer family gave us great equipment and they wanted to win. And it was good times. We had some good times together when we were all together, and we won some races, and then the championship, it just was an amazing feeling that year. And, you never thought you're going to get, you hope to get there. You never think you're going to get there. And then when it all meshed that last week, as you know the best, because I was ready to puke the next morning. So you knew that. So, yeah.
Now you've moved on, and you've got a reputation. You spent some time kind of charting the waters for the Catalano family. Have now moved up with Danny Watts and got reunited with Andrew Molleur. How's that working out?
It's just like we never left. It's the one thing I have to say about him is, because, he's very easy to work with. He's great on equipment. So you're able to fix it for the next week, and like, how do I say, it's just, he tells me a little bit and I know what he wants, which is a good thing. And, I went to go work with Matt Vassar as well with the Hummel car. And unfortunately, Matt sustained an injury where he'll be out for a few weeks, and he'll be back this year, and he's still chugging along, doing everything he's doing like nothing's wrong, but just can't drive a race car right now, but he will. And, but Andrew's in that too. And it's like, even Eddie Flemke notices when, we all work together on that car, and he notices, he's like, you're right, this kid's very easy to work with. And John Hummel said the same thing. We come back with a car next week. So it's pretty good with him. He's a really good shoe.
Yeah. We had Matt give us an update on this episode of his road to recovery. And you can understand this. He's at the point where every time he sees Andrew or Eddie pull out in the Hummel Hot Dog number 11, he sees that as that's my car. And yet he has remained, I think, really connected to the team. When you have a driver that is there but isn't in the car, as a crew chief, JJ, does that give you a different perspective on things?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, like, for instance, I was spotting for Matt, and, he had that mishap, and the injury happened, and he's the first person to say, hey, because Matt's a great spotter, and he spots for us in the Denny Watts car on the tour, and he was the first person to say, go in the infield, I'm going to spot for Andrew. And I think that's kind of, it's very humble, and it's got to be tough, because then you see your car going through the field. Should be you in the seat, but he'll get there. He'll be back, and you might be surprised. It could be 211s on the track. You never know.
Whoa, are we on top of something here? What are we talking about?
You just never know.
Nah, come on. We go back. This is the Modified Minute. Let's break some news. I'll leave it this way. Is John Hummel considering the prospect of fielding 2 entries at Stafford for the remainder of the season once Matt is cleared to drive?
Well, I think it'd be more or less Matt would be in a car and see how it is, and they would be a multiple car race, and then he would see, hey, if Matt feels up to it, keep on chugging, because at this point John's excited how it went with Andrew, and John's was excited with Matt too, just as much. But John's the type of person, he doesn't like to let people down, right? And he's got Andrew behind the wheel, and he feels, I don't want to say obligated, because nobody's obligated in this sport, but I think he feels happy that he's there, and he's happy that Matt's still there, because he sees what Matt's doing, and keep it going. And it's your winning prize for being humble. You get to drive a race. So there will be a couple times you'll see some 11s out there. Who knows if it's the rest of the season or if it's select shows. It also depends on, like I said, Matt has to get back behind the wheel, see what he wants to do too. It's on Matt too. So,
well, listen, I appreciate you sharing it with us. It'll make news this week when we drop Modified Minute. More importantly, appreciate you sharing some of your knowledge about the road to becoming a crew chief and some of your successes, and wish you continued success on the open modified circuit, on the tour circuit with Danny Watson and Andrew, and of course every Friday night at Stafford Speedway. JJ, all the best. Thanks.
I appreciate it, Jack. Thank you.
In the last episode, you saw Troy Tallman get collected in a lap 1 crash at Stafford.
Stay low, come on. Did your right front get hit?
We're junk. Something's bad on the right front.
While Tallman's team was able to make repairs and finish 15th, it was still a disappointing night. But last Friday, that agony of defeat turned into the thrill of victory.
This is Throttle Down Time, where you get to ride along inside a modified. Brought to you by Wadell's Communications, your Northeast trackside dealer for radios and repair. Hop on board with Troy Tallman and his spotter, Sean Wadell.
All right, lights out here, 40 laps. Like I said, I think you have the better of the 2 lanes. We'll figure it out here. If there's opportunity, I'll get you right to the bottom. That's that for. All right, the pace starts in. Be ready for a shaky start here. Good luck. Green flag. Side by side. Everybody's rolling. Side by side. Hopefully he gets going here. 71 on the bottom. Still there. Stay smooth here. Stay up on the top. Everyone on the bottom. He's gonna go feed down. There you go. Just roll the top now.
need that. On the bottom. Keep digging. Keep digging. No room yet. Keep digging. I'll try to get you down as soon as there's a hole, dude. Keep rolling. 81 on the bottom. Still there. No room. It's all locked up. Just stay straight here. Get ready here to get down. Dig hard. Keep digging, keep digging. Clear low, clear low. There. Get on again. Keep rolling, stay on the bottom, stay on the bottom, stay on the bottom. Stay in line. It'll weed out here. Still there. Still clear. Right with you, he's driving over you. Lost about 4 spots, now he just got spun out. Top 12. Into the middle. I just put a shit ton of front brake in during that run. I'll put some more in. And don't put too much in. Like, just getting free. Watch, you got pig cars coming too. Free in is one thing. Free in the middle, you don't want to put too much front brake. Just back up the entry. That's that for. It likes the bottom. I know that. You got cars on the bottom here. Yeah, left rear if you can. Alright, the pace goes in. Come in the green here. Be ready. Fast start. Green flag. Your lane's rolling here. Let's go. Side by side. Still out there. Stay in your lane. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. 3 wide ahead of you. Stay on the bottom. Nice and smooth. Be smooth. Stay right with the 75. You got them all the way back outside of you. Outside 71. Be smart here. It's way too early. Just be smart. Just be smart. Log some laps here. Just get the thing right. Play with your entry. See where you can get through the middle better. Doing a good job. Just be smart here. Plenty of time. Smooth, hold your line. Outside, still out there. Get a good run off the corner. Still got a wheel out there. Still a wheel. Bumper clear. Alright, easy. Watch exit. Watch the exit. Alright, that's all you get. New leader, 6 times. You're all set out back. Just pay attention here. Laps on the bottom. Clear that one. You got one getting in the corner here. All clear, bud. Nice and smooth. All right, the track's pretty clear except for the 2 lappers in front of you all the way back to the checker here. Way to go, kid. Way to go. Good job, Sean. Thank you to all the guys, Dad, Lee, Pitty, Eddie, Mark, anybody else on. Good job, everybody. Good drive, man. Good drive. Hell of a job, Troy. Nice job, Sean. The one with the 6 car. I got my Casella hat on. Oh, yeah.
Spotters have become a critical part of the upper tiers of modified racing. They may not actually turn the wheel inside the car, but they provide their driver with input that helps him get the most out of the car. I want you to meet one of the very best spotters in the industry. His name, Sean Wadell, and he is the focus of this week's Racer Spotlight.
It's Racer Spotlight time. Brought to you by Riverhead Building Supply. Build better. Build stronger.
Sean Wadell is in charge of Wadell Communications for racing electronics here in the Northeast. But the reason that I brought him in for a Racer Spotlight is the critical role that he plays as a spotter. Now, earlier in the show, Sean, I played the latest race with you and Troy Tallman, you spotting him all the way to victory. When did you start spotting?
Late 90s, because we didn't have radios till then. Even though the Modified Tour had them, Stafford didn't have them till later then, you know?
And who was the first guy you spotted for?
Actually, I started with Michael before Ted, actually. I spotted a couple races from Michael. My friend Chucky was spotting for him, and Chucky Madigan, and he couldn't make it, so I spotted a couple of them. And then the Bear, too. I spotted for the Bear. He had numerous drivers. Then I started spotting full-time with Ted in Stafford. And probably like 98, 99, 97 maybe, I don't know, back then.
I can only imagine what it had to be like with you and Teddy and Mike O'Sullivan on the same radio frequency during the course of a race.
Oh yeah, it was stressful at times because he would just yell and scream so much. But then if you gave it back to him, then he would snap, and then Mike would laugh, and then we'd all be laughing, but not on the radio. But then he would say, "I know you're laughing," and he would get all crazy, and he'd just swear more. But in the beginning, back then, Frank Scambata Sr. was the race director, and they loved to pick on Ted for obvious reasons. Sometimes it was definitely self-infliction of his own doing, but sometimes it was more of the let's put on a show for the fans. Of course, you know, your father was a showman. He always wanted Stafford to be the place and the show and whatever was going on. So sometimes if they had the opportunity to sing it in there and get all 13 to the rear, and then it would be, if they thought he was bad before they penalized him, after they penalized him, he was driving like more of a jerk than he was before they started, you know? So he was definitely the most penalized guy in Stafford history by far, guaranteed.
There is absolutely no doubt about that. All right, so let's move through the years. You get hooked up with a young kid by the name of Ryan Priest, a relationship that you still maintain, so much so that you're the second spotter for RFK Racing when they use a second spotter in the Cup Series.
Yeah, actually third. Some races this year was Tony couldn't make it. Tony Raines is our real second spotter. He had a family issue at the Glen, so I was second at the Glen, but normally third, which isn't bad because I believe next year they'll go back to Chicago street race. They'll use 3. I heard rumblings of maybe Mexico or other races. So currently this year I did Coda was the first one. Watkins Glen was number 2, and San Diego was 3, which it was San Diego was pretty legit.
Well, that was a homecoming for you.
Yeah, I actually served on that base like 40 years ago. So it was the same but different. You know, the outskirts and the outlie was the same, but the buildings change and aircraft change, and you know, you go over the bridge and you come on the base, and it was cool. It was pretty wild actually, you know.
But your heart, Sean, has always remained with the modifieds. With the SKs, with the Monaco Modified Tour, whether it's the Whelen Modified Tour, you started a business that now you service, repair, advise the modified racing community for all their electronics. But what is the key? When we talked to Troy a couple episodes ago, he said the value of you as his spotter is that you see things before they actually are going to happen. How did you develop that skill?
Well, I don't know if you actually see it. You just think what's going to happen or predict. But I mean, it comes down to you have to know who you're racing with. So, if car A is on the pole or car B is and you're stuck on the outside, you got lane choice. We don't have lane choice. So, if you're in position 6, you're on the outside. There's no choose cone here once the race starts. So, your bet is made before the race is even started. So with that, it's like a chess game, basically.
Like I said, I think you have the better of the 2 lanes. We'll figure it out here. If there's opportunity, I'll get you right to the bottom.
Basically, you got to play it out. Is what you think is going to happen? Is this guy going to go up or down, or is this lady going to go up or down, or whatever's going to happen? And is you race long enough and you see, and you race around the people, their trends. Like I kind of know that, like if Keith Rocco's on your outside or inside on a restart or is directly behind you, that's a guy you got to pay attention to because Keith's a master at the restarts and he knows how to manipulate a little extra this or a little brake check here or there, where you get a newer guy he's a little green. He's more worried about being in the front and trying to maintain his position than try to manipulate the spot and try to get you to do something you don't want to do or whatever the case may be.
In your opinion, Sean, is the biggest mistake that spotters make?
They kind of try to drive the car try to be you got to give your job as a spotter is to give information that your driver can't see or know what's going on. Like if you head into turn 1 and there's a pileup at the start finish line, and you can obviously see that there's 3 cars sideways, they're not all going to get going. So you say, hey, there's a wreck or a spin behind you, no caution yet. You just let him know. So he's because the guy in front of you, he may just jam the brake on or not. Usually what happens is the spotter's not paying attention for the car behind you and he drives through your back bumper. It's like, well, what was it? What are you doing? Are you paying attention? Like that's your job is to pay attention. But a lot of spotters don't pay attention. I mean, if you're capable of multitasking, like Race Monitor is a great tool. If you're running 3rd or 4th and you have, the car in front of you, you can see the car behind you, that the guy you're running a 10th faster than the guy you're chasing, but the guy behind you is 2/10 faster. So then that makes you got to cover your lane plus try to, get to the spot to pass the car you're trying to pass. So there's a lot that goes into it, but people try to overreact and try to drive the car for the driver. Let him drive. That's his job. He knows how to drive the car. That's why he's in the cockpit and you're up in the spotter stand. That's the whole gist of it. And don't, you got to be calm. You can't. I mean, I could get fired up in my radio trailer, but in the spotter stand, I usually don't get fired up. And you got to be the voice of reason for this person you're spotting for. You got to be the lesser of the 2 evils. Like, don't tell them, oh, go get that guy or wreck. You'll never hear me say to wreck a guy. Anybody can go out there and wreck somebody. It takes talent to pass them. Don't drive into somebody. I can't stand when people just drive into somebody. But you also got to be, like you see people, especially at Stafford, they do the dive bomb. And you got to know that you put your car down there, you still got to turn left. You can't use the guy's door to turn the corner. So you don't want to put your driver in a spot that he can't get out of or has to do something more, risky. Because to me, if you have a winning race car, which we actually did the other night, we had a really good car, but there's 8 or 10 other guys that have just as good a car. So you have to capitalize or take the best opportunity when you have that car. If you don't, if you're going and you start 6th or 8th or 10th and you get up to 2nd or 3rd, to me, it's not worth the risk to reward, to wreck somebody, to me, if you put the car back in the trailer the way it came out, it's so much easier to come back to the track the next week and try to re-perform your performance. But if you constantly banging wheels, like, Ted used to do that all the time, and I used to tell him, you go faster when you don't hit people. And it's true. And these cars are momentum. Some of these, these people that didn't figure it out yet. Every time you turn the wheel, you slow down. Every time you look in your mirror, if you're looking up, you're not going forward. You're slowing down. So these cars are momentum based. So every time you let off the gas and get back on, it takes you X amount of space to get back to where you were. So they keep it rolling and winding, ease in, ease out, smooth. If you're smooth, smooth is fast.
Listen,
you see these guys cranking the wheel and they're not getting nowhere.
And it frustrates the hell out of you, I know, because you're such a big fan of the art of driving an SK specifically. Listen, it's always a pleasure. We appreciate your support of the Modified Minute, but more importantly, your support of the modified racing community. When you show up at a racetrack, there is a line outside your trailer for repairs and earplugs, and they all have a pressing need. And you can get a little irascible and kind of bark and growl. But everybody loves you, Sean Wadell.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
All right, it's time for either or, so let's see who's in the hot seat this week.
It's either or, where our guest must choose one or the other. Brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Expert plumbing contractors you can trust.
For this week's either or, I've decided to enlist Chase Dowling as my victim, I guess you could say. Are you ready, Chase? Because this will be harmless, I promise.
Sounds good.
Okay. Either Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeyes.
Ooh. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Crispy or original
chicken?
Recipe?
Just chicken Popeyes, the only thing really.
Oh, okay. All right. World Cup or World Series?
World Series. Baseball.
I figured that was coming. In other words, you haven't caught World Cup fever yet.
No.
You don't even care, do you?
Don't even watch it. Nope.
You don't even care.
No.
Championships or race wins?
Oh, that's my epitome. I have a lot of race wins, but no really big championships. So I would have to say championships at this point.
Fishing or hunting?
Fishing.
And finally, boating or snowmobiling?
Oh, I blew my shoulder out snowmobiling, but definitely probably boating at this point. It's warmer.
Well, you realize you can blow another shoulder out if you're water skiing or you're on a boat.
Yeah.
What if you fall out of the boat? Okay.
That's all right. At least you're having more fun and it's warm. Water will cool you down. Snowmobiling when it's cold as hell and you blow a shoulder out, it's not too fun trying to get to the hospital 5 hours away.
All right. We appreciate it. See, I told you weren't going to be harmed in this segment, but
nope.
we appreciate your being subject to either or.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Modified Minute. Big thank yous go out to JJ Vece, Matt Vassar, and Sean Wadell for taking time out of their day to share their stories and give us an inside look at what makes modified racing so special. As always, thank you for making the Modified Minute part of your week. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons, tell a fellow racing fan about the show. You see, your support helps us to continue to bring you the best people, the biggest stories, and the greatest competition in modified racing. Don't forget to follow the Modified Minute on social media so you never will miss a new episode or the latest news from the world of modifieds. Until next time, I'm Jack Arute. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you at the races.
This has been the Modified Minute. Modified Minute has been brought to you by Wadell Communications, the official trackside radio supplier for the Mod Squad, by Midstate Site Development, safety, knowledge, and innovation, by Wheeler's Auto Services, the finest in top-level service of premier automobile makes and models, by Hummel Brothers Quality Meats, 100% quality since 1933, by Riverhead Building Supply, Build Smarter, Build Better, by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, expert plumbing contractors you can trust, by Sign Pro, exceeding your expectations, and by Ferguson Contractors, building excellence since 1925. Video provided by NASCAR, Monaco Tri-Track, NESTN, Race Day CT, and Flow Racing. Want to get in touch with us? It's easy. Email us with your comments and suggestions. Our email address is modifiedminute@gmail.com, or you can instant message us at Modified Minute. Video versions of the Modified Minute are available on YouTube and Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to both and grow the show.